Hello everyone, my name is Christina Campbell, and today we're diving into Jainism, one of the oldest religions in India that a lot of people, myself included, have not known or learned about. Very similar to Buddhism, Hinduism, Taoism, and Taoism, they all seek an enlightenment. So a quick preview that we're going to cover in these slides are its teachers, the role of women, nuns, modern leaders, and what Jainism looks like today. And by the end, I'm sure you'll know that Jainism is way more than an ancient tradition. It is a philosophy and lessons that we can learn and use today. So Jain deities, Tirthankaras, and gods. It's a non-theistic religion, which means it's different from Hinduism and Buddhism because it doesn't have a single creator or god. Think of them as coaches, mentors, not gods, and they don't hand out favors. So worship equals respect and inspiration, not please give me a car or a good grade. And celestial beings do exist like angels, but they're kind of stuck in a cycle of karma and rebirth, like humans. So the transitions, instead of looking up to one god, Jains look sideways to human examples to look at themselves in past lives to path to their freedom. So the role of female figures in Jainism, it has a long history of women being crucial since the beginning. Story of Chandabala, she fed Makara after his long fast, and he remembered her for her compassion and devotion. The big debate, Tabara, yes, women can reach liberation on their own, and Digmabara, that women must be reborn as men first. A little outdated for me, but I understand. So women weren't just present, they were at the heart of serious theological debates, and that shows how powerful they are. Next, we're going to talk about the 21 Tirthankaras. Jainism has 24 great teachers who achieved enlightenment. First, there's Rishabhatha Abhinath, created while introducing and forming social order. And last, Makarva, the most famous, whose teaching shaped Jainism today. Each Tirthanka achieved Kavala Jna, perfect knowledge, meaning enlightenment, getting to all of those things. It is kind of like a relay race. Each one carried the torch of wisdom, passing it down to the next, kind of like the Avatar, if you're familiar with the Avatar's Last Airbender, and reaching that enlightenment and learning from each teacher prior until the final form. Just different forms. Now we'll get into the Jain monks and nuns' aesthetics. They're central human figures besides these gods and deities. They're real-life role models of extreme discipline, vows to non-violence, truth, celibacy, non-stealing, and no possession. They practice Shitamvara and wear simple white robes, and or Digambara, which renounce clothes altogether. It's a symbol of total achievement and separation from material things. Imagine not just giving up on Netflix and your phone, but you're giving up on your clothes and everything. That's what that stands for. And the monks live their truth. And while they do give up a lot, they inspire millions with less attachment and minimalistic living. So modern figures of Jainism. Jainism didn't end in the ancient times. It is well and alive, again, just not familiar with a lot of people. Akara Tulsi started the Anuvant movement, focused on small vows that anyone can take, not just monks, free for everyone. And Akara Mahapraya, a global ambassador of peace and nonviolence. So Jainism isn't locked in history books. It's only out in the world trying to make more life for humans today. So now we're going to go into Maharva, born to a wealthy warrior family and gave it all up at 30, as the histories tell. He meditated in silence for 12 years in extreme discipline and detachment and achieved Kavala Jna, perfect knowledge. His 5 vows, non-violence, truth, non-stealing, celibacy, and non-possession. He's a radical minimalist and a peace activist, similar to Buddha and anyone that you can think of today. And he lived at the same era as Buddha, so the 6th century, and they both shape Indian spirituality very deeply. However, their path to enlightenment is a little bit different. So next slide is Jain symbols and practices. So we have the Ahima hand, it's the top sign for violence. We have the Swatiska, the 4 states of existence: heavenly beings, humans, plants, animals, and hell beings, which are all connected. And the core practices are meditation, strict vegetarianism, and often veganism. So even what you eat is an act of spirituality. For Jains, every bite counts because it can harm and or protect life. It's a big circle of life, and everything is connected from your previous to your past to your future life. Jain festivals, which are very new. So we have the Paryushana, the time of fasting, forgiveness, and self-reflection. People literally call and text to ask for forgiveness during this time. It is a sense of cleanliness and going back and giving yourself that chance to be a better person. You have the Maharvi Jayanti, celebrating Maharvi's birth. Unlike other religions, festivals full of fireworks and feasts, Jain festivals are about quiet reflection, and it's less about partying and more about purifying the soul. So Jainism's global presence. Around 4 to 5 million Jains are worldwide, and although that may seem like a small number compared to the 8+ billion people in the world, mostly they reside in India, but there are big communities in the US, Chicago, New Jersey, UK, and East Africa. Temples are built abroad to show the adaptability within these temples, and Jain values like vegetarianism and nonviolence connect with modern movements like climate activism and animal rights. And finally, but not least, influences like Gandhi and MLK and global peace movements are very similar to this practice. Environmental and animal rights activism also inspired Jain ethics. And when you think about veganism, climate protest, or even nonviolent resistance, there's a little piece of Jainism right there. Jainism may be ancient, but the heartbeat is very, very strong. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this brief through, and have a blessed one. Live like a Jainie.